Let's talk about a huge challenge facing, well, pretty much every organization today. We live in a world of constant, non-stop change. So the big question is, how do you build a business that doesn't just get by, but actually thrives in all that chaos?
I mean, really think about it. How do you win? Disruptions, uncertainty, new tech popping up every day. This isn't the exception anymore, you know? It's just the new normal. So in a world that's this unpredictable, how does anyone actually come out on top?
Well, the answer isn't just about bouncing back after a crisis hits. It's about building something way deeper, something much more powerful. And that's genuine business resilience. It's a totally different way of thinking about what it means to be strong.
Okay, so let's get into it. What is business resilience, really? Because I promise you, it's not just the latest corporate buzzword. It represents a major shift away from that old-school survival mindset.
So here's the core idea. Business resilience is your organization's ability to do three things when facing disruption. First, you adapt. Second, you recover. But the third one, this is the most important. You learn to thrive, not just in spite of the challenges, but sometimes because of them. And this is where you can really see the difference between resilience and, say, traditional risk management. See, risk management is reactive. It's all about building shields and trying to prevent bad things from happening. Resilience, on the other hand, is proactive. It's about developing the muscle to adapt to anything and even use those challenges to get stronger and grow. That's the mindset shift right there.
So how do you actually build this kind of organization? Well, it all comes down to a set of core principles. Think of these as the fundamental building blocks for any company that wants to be truly resilient.
The sources we looked at point to 7 of these principles. You can kind of group them into 3 buckets. The first group is all about looking ahead. The second is about building strong connections, inside and out. And the third is about what you need to keep the momentum going for the long haul. Let's break them down. First up, it all starts with foresight. Adaptability is about really, truly accepting that change is the only constant, and then building the flexibility to pivot when you need to. Proactive planning takes that a step further. It's about scanning the horizon not just for threats, but for the hidden opportunities that always come with change. Next, you've got to build strong relationships. A laser focus on what your customers need and want is what keeps you relevant. And at the same time, you need that internal collaboration, getting different people with diverse ideas in a room together. That's the collective brainpower you need to solve really tough problems.
And finally, to make this all last, you need 3 more things. Ethical and sustainable practices. That's what builds trust, your foundation. Continuous learning. That mindset turns every single stumble into a chance to get smarter. And balanced energy management. This is huge. It makes sure your people can keep performing at a high level without burning out.
Okay, so we know what resilience is and the principles it's built on. But what's the payoff? What does it actually do for an organization? This is where we really see that jump from just surviving to actually thriving.
The impact is absolutely transformative. When you build resilience, you're not just creating a more stable and agile company. It goes way beyond that. It strengthens all your relationships, from your customers to your own team, which leads to deeper trust and more engagement from everyone. It's a win-win all around.
This quote just nails it. Resilient organizations not only survive disruptions, but also unlock their full potential for growth. That's the whole game right there. It's not about playing defense, it's about unlocking a whole new level of offense.
So this all sounds great, right? But it can feel a little abstract. Where do you actually begin? Let's turn these big ideas into a simple, practical game plan you can start thinking about today.
The most important thing is just to start somewhere. You don't have to boil the ocean. Maybe you begin with scenario planning, just imagining a few different ways the future could play out. Then you can use those ideas to make sure your resources are set up for agility. And while you're at it, focus on developing leaders who are comfortable with uncertainty and use tech to help you respond faster. The glue that holds it all together? Constant open communication with everyone who has a stake in your success. That's how you build trust.
So, I'll leave you with this one last question to chew on. The old goal was to build an organization that was built to last. The new goal is to build one that's built to evolve. So, which one are you building? Thanks for watching.